Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to the Multiverse Leadership Podcast. What's one digital marketing challenge you face when trying to attract new patients? Well, today we're joined by Steven Schwartz, a digital marketing expert with over 25 years of experience helping businesses thrive and grow. Steven is the founder of Concierge Medical Marketing, a specialized agency dedicated to supporting concierge medical and direct primary care practices, growing their patient panels and enhancing their digital presence. Welcome, Steven, to our podcast.
Hey, thank you, Justin. So glad to be here.
Yes, we are glad to have you on here today. We would love to dive into your journey, let the audience kind of know more about you, where you're coming from, and how you just kind of started your business, Concierge Medical.
All right. So that's a long story that I'll pull down to a very short Reader's Digest version. I grew up in Southern California, the town of San Pedro, and did school there, involved in math and science and music and drama. I played drums in a rock band, or a couple little rock bands in the neighborhood, and did musical theater and just had a lot of fun with that. And I started school at UC Santa Barbara. Found it was very, very big and overwhelming. And then I transferred to Humboldt State University up in Northern California, up by Eureka and up in the redwood trees near Oregon, actually, and loved it. It was a much better fit for me. It was during my days at Humboldt that I started taking classes in computer programming, and I had a math major focus, applied mathematics with computer science focus. And I learned about this new thing that was just coming out called the internet. Now, this was 1992 through 94 when I was at Humboldt, and the internet was literally something that was brand new and only used on college campuses by dorks like me. And so it was really exciting. But there was one time I remember sitting in this computer lab, and I put in a string of numbers at the very top of this software they called a browser. And the string of numbers hit the enter button, and then I saw a picture of the entire United States that was taken from a satellite, from above, and it showed the clouds where they were. And I think that satellite picture was updated once a day or once an hour or whatever. And it completely blew my mind. Now, again, this was early mid-90s. People didn't have smartphones. Nobody had a computer at home, right? And so the fact that I'm sitting at a computer lab and I had access to a NASA satellite absolutely blew me away. And I said, I got to learn more about this new internet. And within a few years, I graduated. I had moved to the East Coast. I started working at a government contractor tech business outside of Washington, D.C., actually in Arlington, down the street from the Pentagon. And I worked there and never quite found the right fit for me personally. Like the different jobs I was doing there, just nothing was a great fit. And it was only until I started my own little web design company from a spare bedroom at my house did I really find an area of a career that I could do well at and enjoy and be successful. And so I launched a little business called Positive Design. That was January of 1999. And again, back then, the internet was very small. It was very rudimentary. There was a new thing that just came out called Yahoo. And I did a research on Yahoo to find different law firms in the area. And again, I'm, right across the street from Washington, D.C. So I was finding different law firms that had cruddy looking websites. And basically I just started putting them on a spreadsheet and would reach out to them with an email saying, hey, my name's Steve Schwartz, and I provide a service of helping take websites and make them look more professional. And I came across yours. I saw some good things. I saw some areas for improvement. Would you like to talk about this? And to my utter shock and surprise, people said, yes, I'd love to talk to you about it. And before you know it, I had clients and building websites. After a couple of years, we created a system that allowed our clients the ability to update the content on their website themselves anytime they wanted to without being a techie. Now, again, today, there's so many hundreds of ways that a person can build and manage a website. But back then, it didn't exist. This was before WordPress. This was before Wix and all these programs. Back then, it was Dreamweaver and Front Page. And we created our very own content management system before CMS was an acronym. So we named that the PDGo system and started offering that to our clients. And to my again, wonderful shock and surprise. Everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted the ability to have an affordable custom website that they could easily update themselves without being a techie. And so we built websites and we trained clients to use this software, and they used it. And over time, people wanted additional services like, how do I get my website found on the internet? Or how do I do this or that? So we started offering SEO and pay-per-click ads and help with 5-star reviews and eventually, email marketing and text message marketing and marketing automation, all these great things that are available. And somewhere along the line, let's see, September 11th happened. Again, I was living in Virginia and realized I didn't want to be in that area anymore. It's this new thing of terrorism. And it was awful living in that area at that time. And so I moved to Vero Beach, Florida, where I've been since 2002. And it's been a great run. And I ran the PD Go business for over 25 years. And throughout the pandemic, it became a little more challenging to find good clients, to find clients that needed the service, and for us to stand out in the marketplace more than we were before, simply because there were so many different ways that people could get websites and digital marketing. We didn't stand out anymore with our PD Go system. And so in 2024, I made a huge change in my life and my career. And what that was selling PD Go, my previous agency, to a friend of mine who wanted to grow through acquisition. And I started a new agency called Concierge Medical Marketing. And the idea there is to niche down, to have a focus on one very specific industry, an industry that's growing, an industry that has the ability financially to pay for professional digital marketing services. And I focused there, and now Concierge Medical Marketing has been around for over a year. And it's exciting because I have the chance to really work with very wonderful people, very specific niche on helping concierge and direct primary care practices gain more patients to their practice through effective marketing. And in doing so, I'm making a name for myself in this industry. And so it's a pretty exciting time. And most recently, the last couple of months, I've been focused really heavily on AI technologies in how to use AI to help your concierge or direct primary care practice with your marketing. And let me just grab this here.
Using AI in marketing? What? Gosh.
Yes. Man, all day, every day. And so I just want to tell your listeners that I created a system, an AI digital marketing assistant to help these doctors with their marketing, to create content for their website, to create content for blogs, for email drip sequences, for text message marketing, all these different really cool things. Excuse me. And I call the AI digital marketing assistant MADDY, MADDY, and that stands for marketing assistant. And beyond that, I wrote a book. There it is. Get it focused. I wrote Just Ask MADDY, the AI digital marketing assistant for membership medical practices. So
that must have taken a long time to write. I'm telling you.
They put
a lot of work into that.
You would think. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of effort. And I'd be lying to say I did it every word myself. I did not use ChatGPT to help me write the book. And I did it with my ideas, my concepts, and I threw ideas to ChatGPT. It gave me ideas and suggestions back. And we worked on it for several weeks and literally came up with the manuscript to work alongside with MADDY, the AI digital marketing assistant.
That's amazing.
And so it's really cool. So recently I've been printing out copies of the book, which are available on Amazon if anybody wants a copy, and offering copies of the book, both the hard copy as well as the virtual, ebook version, to concierge and direct primary care practice owners so that they can use the tool MADDY to help them with their marketing. And if they can use it successfully and grow and thrive with it, fantastic. We've made healthcare better. We've helped de-stress practice owners and their team, and that's a win. And obviously for practice owners and their staff who like the idea of using AI for their practice marketing, but maybe need a little extra help, or maybe like, hey, I love what you're doing here, but I want to be a doctor. And I want to serve my patients.
They can't do it all. Didn't they go to school to do it all? Wait a second.
So, many times doctors and nurse practitioners are so focused on being the end all be all for everything in their practice. And they've got to realize that we're humans, right? As you talk about, what does it mean to be human? The idea is that we can't all be great at everything, right? We can't. Okay. We simply can't. And so let your doctors and nurse practitioners be experts in medicine. Let the marketing teams be great at marketing. Let the IT professionals like yourself be great at the IT and cybersecurity and protection. Let the financial people be good at that. So we all have things that we're great at, and there's other things we're good or passable with, and other things we're terrible at, right? So I could rattle off like 10 things right now that I'm terrible at. Trust me, you don't want me doing your brain surgery. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard just to understand and realize that you aren't good at these things. That's one step that people don't get sometimes. they should be giving these things off to other people, taking them off
Absolutely.
the plate.
Yeah. And here's the thing, one of my newer clients is a medical doctor from Texas, and he's worked in his hospital for over 10 years, and he's served so many people and helped so many folks, but he's burned out, he's overworked, he's underpaid, and he would love to have his own concierge medical practice. And so what we did a couple of weeks ago is we literally sat down together virtually, because again, he's in Texas, I'm here in Florida, and we did a screen sharing, and we logged into MADDY, the AI digital marketing assistant, and we onboarded his name, his practice, and his information, his life, his vibe, his feel, his ideas, his structure, all that stuff. We onboarded into MADDY, and it asked questions and we answered it, and back and forth and revisions and stuff. And in doing so, we came up with the name of the practice, the logo, the mission statement, his 3 programs that he offers, a good, better, best style, all the content for his website. And literally it's all that's done in a fraction of the time, and certainly a fraction of the price, the investment. And right now he's just reviewing that content to verify that it says what he wants it to say. Then we can proceed with building his website using the content and structure that MADDY gave us.
That is actually phenomenal. I wish I had that for my business.
Sure.
I want to circle back for a minute.
Yeah.
So some people might not understand, I know I didn't quite at first, what a concierge medical practice does. To my understanding was concierge was they're almost like they visit your house and they wait on you hand and foot. But I don't think that's exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. There are a lot of misconceptions on what concierge medicine truly means.
Yeah.
And the best I can share with you that the combination between primary care done as concierge or primary care done as something called direct primary care, it's where you have a more direct relationship with your doctor or your nurse practitioner or your PA rather than going through insurance. The traditional model is we have expensive health insurance. We never use it until we're sick. And then when we're sick, we call the doctor and try to get in. Many times they're too busy, right? They can't see you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, go to urgent care. And if you're really bad, go to the emergency room. Let me know how it works out.
Good luck.
That's not treating you and not treating your health, right?
No.
And maybe, the many doctors will say, well, let's have a physical once a year, and they'll spend a little extra time with you. So that's the traditional method of healthcare. And, you're going to pay for your insurance, you're going to pay for a copay, and you're not going to use it until you're sick. What concierge and direct primary care is under an umbrella that I call membership medicine. And the idea is you pay a amount of money directly to your practice's office, either every month or once per year. And in doing so, you get many more valuable things. First of all, the ability to have the phone number, to text, to call, or to email your doctor and their team directly. Can you imagine, it's 7 a.m. and you've had a rough night and you want to text your doctor, hey doc, I'm not feeling well. And the doctor sees the text, writes back and says, hey, come on in. I'll see you at the office at 8:00. Okay.
I feel like this is how it used to be back in the days before medical insurance.
Yeah.
That was common more.
Right. The old style version of the Mayberry doctor. But what's cool about it is that some of these membership medicine practices, many of them have an actual physical location where patients come, and typically same day or next day appointments. And the appointments take longer. Rather than 5 or 7 minutes, see a nurse, and then the doctor comes in for 2 minutes and then gives you a prescription, kicks you out, and that's it. With a concierge or DPC practice, they might spend 30 minutes with you, or an hour, or 2 hours on every visit.
Get to know you, talk with you, and get a really good idea of what's going on with your health, not just your physical health, but your emotional health, or your attitudes, your stresses, things that are going on. And in doing so, getting a much better holistic feel on what is going on with you. Number one, to make sure you are healthy now. And number two, to check and make sure that things that could be a problem later are identified and dealt with right away. And one story I want to say, there was a doctor I met at a conference last year, and she had a very successful practice. And she said, we have a 100% rate, essentially, or win rate of none of our patients ever having a heart attack. Not one out of hundreds of patients. And you say, well, how do you do that? Because they take the time
when a new patient signs up with them to do the proper tests, discussions, deep dive, extra test, whatever is necessary. And for those people that may have had issues that would lead to a heart attack later in life, they dealt with it proactively so that they have a 100% success rate on no heart attacks for their patients. How cool is that, right?
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
Being proactive, go
Go
figure.
figure, right? And one other thing to mention, as you said about, you thought concierge meant that the doctor goes to the home of their patient and waits on them hand and foot. There are many doctors who actually do that. One of my clients is located in the greater Orlando area. He's built $1 million business on visiting with his patients at their home or their office. Okay. And
That is
it's
so
like,
cool.
that's awesome. And he's a great guy. He's always on the road, though. That's the thing. You call or text with this doctor. He's always on the road until, 7 or 8 o'clock at night, but he loves it. His patients have great outcomes. So one other thing I want to share about this space is that the group that's called direct primary care typically does not accept any insurance. Okay. If you have insurance, that's up to you. If you want to use insurance for, I don't know, if you have, like I said, a heart attack or you need some transplant or some major thing, you have your insurance that can help cover things in a hospital, right? But
Yes.
the membership fee that you pay directly to your provider each month covers you and your time and relationship with that provider. Okay.
So let me see if I get that right.
Yes.
So you can have insurance and have concierge, but one doesn't cover the other.
Right, exactly. And we do recommend that people have some sort of major medical coverage so that if something ever does come up that's going to put you in the hospital for a couple of weeks, obviously you want the insurance to cover that rather than bankrupting you and your family for the rest of your days. That's important.
Generational bankruptcy.
Right. So here's a cool analogy. When you buy a car and you pay for car insurance, does the car insurance cover oil changes and gasoline and windshield wipers? No.
I wish.
It covers when you get into an accident or something awful happens to the vehicle or to, things related to the vehicle, like the big things, right? It does not cover the regular maintenance, gas, oil, windshield wiper fluid, transmission fluid. It doesn't cover that stuff. Well, in a membership medicine practice, you're paying for the ongoing relationship with your practitioner and for, coming in once a month, maybe coming in once every 3 months, get checked up, get labs as needed, sit down and talk and spend that time together so that any issues that might become a problem later are dealt with proactively.
I really like how you said that, being dealt with proactively. I have a question. So I know there's a thing called functional medicine. It is pretty much being proactive, unlike you were talking about earlier with our basic medicine. So concierge medicine is pretty much like functional medicine. You pay a premium to actually get tests and things done that you need to.
Right. Many concierge practitioners and direct primary care folks also consider themselves functional medicine experts or specialists. You got to be really careful in this space on how you designate yourself and what degrees you have, what certifications, what boards you've passed, all those different things. Just the big thing to understand under the umbrella of membership medicine is that you're paying your provider directly per month or per year. You have dramatically more access to them. You're proactive and they're proactive with you. It's a much tighter relationship rather than, I only see my doctor once a year for a physical and or if I'm sick, something comes up. And even then,
like all medicine should be like that, but then that'll be very expensive too.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. More and more businesses, small businesses to larger businesses, are actually choosing to have a relationship with a direct primary care or concierge practice, primarily the DPCs, so that instead of paying, I don't know, a couple $100 a month per employee for typical health insurance, they're paying $40 or $50 or $60 per month per employee. And those employees have direct access to the physician at that membership practice. So it costs less and they have more access and they have the opportunity in many cases for the families of the employees to also join. And my clients who are in this space love having employee groups, right? Because when marketing, obviously my company is Concierge Medical Marketing. In marketing, you can spend time and effort to bring aboard one person or a couple or a small family, or you can spend a little more time and get a business that has 2, 3, 4, 500 employees, and you get a huge batch all at once. And that's where the practices have a chance to scale and say, well, I just signed on company X. They have 500 employees. Let's get them onboarded. And now we can hire another doctor or nurse practitioner at our office and then go find another business that wants to sign on with another 2, 3, 4, 500 employees. And before you know it, these businesses, these little medical practices are going boop, 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 and just expanding greatly. So it's really exciting.
I didn't even know that. I have to look more into that
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
I wish my company did that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, do a search for direct primary care near me in your area, Newport Beach. And I'm sure you'll find probably 10 different practices within a 30-minute drive of your place that would be happy to talk to you about being a member patient. And some of these direct primary care places I've seen as low as $50 a month. I mean, it's crazy how affordable. You go
What?
out to dinner one
Sign me
time.
up.
Go out to dinner one time, you're going to blow through $50, nothing flat. And can you imagine having
Yeah.
direct access to your health provider for $50 a month, on call, texting, available? Yeah.
That's amazing, because I've always said to always be proactive, not in just like your business, but your health and your lifestyle. And you get ahead of stuff like that for like $50 a month. That's so worth it. You know what's going on, like you said earlier, having the right blood tests done, because a lot of those tests they don't do in your normal primary care hospital, like say Kaiser or something.
Yeah.
I've tried getting some of these tests before.
Right.
That person
They're
be like,
only going
no.
to, they're going to order tests that they think are necessary based on either the normal protocol, or if there's something that seems to be going on, this thing hurts.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let's order that test. The direct primary care and concierge physicians are going to take a lot more care and slow down and really talk to you and really figure out what's going on.
love that.
Okay. And by the way, I threw out $50. It was a practice somewhere in middle of small town Ohio. It was like
Yeah, I'm sure it's not in California
that's
anywhere.
not what you'd expect in Southern California, but I have seen many times $99 a month up to like $149 per month. Just even in those spaces, yeah,
So it's
it's
affordable.
reasonable.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the
I'm
way,
looking like maybe $500 a month or something, but that's better than what I was thinking.
yeah, yeah. When I was researching concierge medicine as an industry or a niche to focus on for my agency, I saw a factoid, data clip, whatever, of how big it was and how big it was growing as an industry. And at the time in 2023, it was like a $6.5 billion per year industry just in the United States. Okay. So I say 6 billion. The estimate was that it was going to over $13 billion by 2030. That's 5 years,
Wow.
more than doubling. Okay. Why is it growing that fast? Because it works, because it's reasonably priced, because the patients get better access to their care providers. It's more accessible. You can see the doctor more often. It's just less hassle, less paperwork, less stressed doctors. I mean, it's good all the way around. So I'm thrilled to be in this space and helping these medical practitioners succeed in their dreams of having a successful practice with several hundred successful, happy, healthy patients with less stress, more money, and a better, happier life.
That is absolutely beautiful. How do you get into, so let me rephrase this. Usually when you start a business and you're doing marketing, they teach you have to niche down. And the further down you go, usually the better. How did you figure out that concierge medical, which is a very small niche, but it's going to be like the perfect fit for you? Because that's going to be a lot of trial and error. I'd love to know that process.
Sure, great story. Here in my town, I had visited my cardiologist to have a checkup and make sure things are good. And he knew I was in web design, and he had over 3,000 patients in his traditional insurance-based cardiology practice, which is typical. And, he sees patients once a year if everything's good, and more often if there's issues. And he had mentioned to me, he said, look, I'm starting a branch or an area or division of my medical practice to be concierge cardiology, where the patients would pay, I don't know, it's like $300 a month. And then they would have direct access to this doctor, access to him by cell phone, by texting, by calling 24/7, the whole deal. And he needed a new website to be created to share this information. And he needed digital marketing to help educate his existing patients that this is the change he's making. Here's why it's good for you. Here's why it's good for me. And if you'd like to learn more about it, click this button to sign up a time to talk to me. And so we put together not just this website, but we built an entire menu or program of different digital marketing services that would be very helpful to his practice to achieve his goals of educating existing patients, as well as to expose our community to his VIP level care of a concierge cardiology practice. So we put together this program of Google business profile optimization, SEO, search engine optimization, Google paid ads, meta ads like Facebook and Instagram ads for exposure, and a few other things. And for a very reasonable number, our agency could do all of these things for his practice on a monthly basis to help him achieve his goal of reaching 300 patients in his concierge division of his practice. And so that's what we put together. And it hit me. I thought, I bet there's a lot of different concierge doctors out across our country who would like to grow. Either they need help with transitioning from a traditional practice like this doctor did, or they are newer and need to advertise to get their new patients. And so I thought this is a really good plan, and we put it together and started building out the name and logo and separate website for Concierge Medical Marketing. And like I said, in 2024, sold the legacy agency, started the new agency, and been running ever since. It's been pretty awesome.
That is absolutely amazing. It takes a lot of us sometimes so much to figure out the niche down and really find that niche and really listen out there to see what's going on to understand where we can fit into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the challenges that I had before is that we were a generalist web design and digital marketing agency.
Yeah.
And so if I was going to do digital ads, who was I going to target to see them, right?
That general guy over there.
Right, exactly. Is it a doctor? Is this meant for a dentist? Is it meant for a hotel or a motel? Is it meant for a nonprofit or a church? Is it meant for whoever? It's like the message, the branding was not focused on anybody other than, hey, are you a small business owner and you want to grow? You know, it's just, it's weak.
Now.
Exactly. As opposed to now I can say, look, if you're a concierge or DPC practice and you're struggling with growing your panel to a 300 number based on X, Y, and Z, let us show you how to do it. We can either give you a book that teaches you how to use an AI digital marketing assistant to help you do it for you, or we can do it with you or for you as an agency. We understand this space. So the marketing message, when you have a niche and a very specific niche, can be very, very helpful. I mean, this is the second book that I've written. The first one is a book that's all about, it's called The Definitive Guide to Winning with Digital Marketing for Concierge Medical Practices. And that book's literally available on my website as a download right now. conciergemd.marketing is our website. Literally, any of your listeners can go there, whether they're in concierge medicine or not. They can go there, scroll down the page, put in their email address, click the button, and our system will send you a link where you can download this book for free. Help yourself. And the idea is that when you niche down, you speak to your audience. You show your audience that you understand them, their pain points, their challenges. And so when they think, hey, I want to grow, hey, I need marketing, hey, I need, in your case, IT or whatever it might be, who are they going to think, right? Who should we go to? Should we go to the generic anybody web designer down the street or Wix or Fiverr or one of these places?
Someone that knows your business.
Or do you go to someone who knows your business? I mean, literally, my shirt, Concierge Medical Marketing, that's who we focus on, right? And, if you have a different type of business, that's really not who we're designed to serve. I can refer you to a friend or somebody who can do a good job for another type of business. But my focus is in the concierge medical and direct primary care space.
I love how you said that. And I'm still on that journey myself, trying to figure that one out and understanding that. I hear it all the time. Niche down, figure out who you're trying to focus on. But I always keep thinking back to myself, but I can't help everybody. But not everybody wants my help. I can't work with everyone. And it's just like hard going back and forth.
Right. It's so true. And so here's what I would do if I was consulting you is I would sit down with you on ChatGPT and I would say, my name is Justin Walker. My company is such and such. This is my background. This is what I do. These are the services I provide in the cybersecurity or IT space. I need help identifying a niche that would work best for me based on A, B, C, D, E, whatever those criteria might be. I want you to ask me questions one at a time, waiting for me to answer so that you get a great idea of me and my situation. And I want you to act as my business consultant, my expert level business strategist to help me work this out on my niche selection. Put that into ChatGPT, spend 20 minutes or so working through it back and forth. I promise you, you will have so many great ideas and hone down to maybe 2 or 3 different niches that you might want to really consider focusing on. And if you see when you're like, you know what, I would really love to be the cybersecurity experts for dermatologists or whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. And then from there, you can update your branding to be cybersecurity for dermatologists.com. Right? So that your name matches the thing that you do and the thing you're an expert on. You get cool shirts and polos like I do and a ball cap and business cards and set up your Facebook and your Instagram and your YouTube and have this omnipresent approach of if I'm cybersecurity for dermatologists, that's who we're marketing to. That's who we're getting involved with on LinkedIn. That's the conferences we're going to. That's the book I'm going to write. All this stuff comes together. And then you become the expert in that very specific niche.
I feel that. I've actually been going through some of that myself, trying to work that out, but I haven't sat down as much with ChatGPT and talked to exactly how you told me. That's very specific. Yeah. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold you to this. I'm going to go and do this myself. I'll let you know what I come back with.
All right. So today's Friday, and I'm going to challenge you by Wednesday of next week. I want to see your top 3 choices of niche, or maybe your number 1. Challenge accepted?
Challenge accepted.
Right on.
Wait, the audience is holding me accountable?
Dude, love it.
Man.
Love it.
I can't back down now.
Nope, you got
okay. What was the challenge again? I'll go back and look at it. No big deal.
Thousands and thousands of screaming podcast fans are going to start asking, okay, so what's your niche there, Justin? What you promised you're going to come up with it. So yeah.
Right. It's been very hard and difficult for me to figure that one out. And I like how you picked concierge medical. I like working in the medical field. I like the people that I work with. I like a lot of the people in medical. They just have these hearts. They have this push and drive to want to help people and be of service. I love this field because of that.
Yeah,
I have to figure out how I can help them.
Yeah, what's interesting is that many times the stereotype is that people became a doctor because they wanted to make a lot of money. Okay. So, that's the thing. And I did speak with somebody recently who said he got into medicine because when he was growing up in Brooklyn, the most impressive thing you could do to make your family proud was to become a doctor. Okay. And so it wasn't specifically, oh, you make a lot of money, but to impress mom and dad and grandparents and neighbors and all that stuff. And he's a great doctor, has an amazing business. But what I found when I met concierge doctors and direct primary care folks, money is not the driving factor. The outcomes for the patients is absolutely the number one factor. And to provide better care at a slower pace where they can truly take the time and speak with their patients and really get to know them and have that relationship so that they get better outcomes. And in doing so, instead of dealing with 3,000 patients, you're dealing with 300, you have the ability to spend more time per patient each time. Previous doctor might have 25 or 30 patient visits a day, whereas with concierge, they might see 5 or 6 a day, right? What a difference.
I love that.
And so your practitioners have so much less stress and dramatically less burnout. Right now, in the insurance-based industry of medicine, there is so much physician burnout that people are like, I didn't get into this to be this stressed all the time. I'm going to go do something else.
Well, I see them striking and stuff right now in some of these hospitals because of some of that.
Yeah. It's just, I'm grateful to be part of an improvement in something so vitally important as people's healthcare.
Yeah. I love that because that's how I'm trying to structure my business, is just being more human-centric. Like in my space in cyber, they forgot what it is to be a human being in this space. They forgot that we're talking and dealing with humans all the time. When like cyber stuff came out, it was all about the technology, but they just left the human being behind. So, I'm just trying to find and put that. I like the idea. I'm going to put that into my business more too.
Yeah.
We're human beings trying to help other human beings out. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Challenge with that though is that you can't effectively market to all humans. Right?
Yeah, I'm
You
seeing that
can't. I
one.
mean, if you're trying to market to all humans, think of yourself as you're going to need to have an ad budget like AT&T, like Amazon, like Coca-Cola,
That's
Chevy
easy.
or Toyota, billions of dollars in advertising, right? If you're trying to, like,
Let me
think about
pull it out
Coca-Cola,
my.
right? They advertise all the time on all these different places so that when people start getting thirsty, they think, maybe I'll get a Coke, right? Because it keeps putting that ad message in front of their eyeballs because anybody can drink a Coke, right? But if you're my silly example of a dermatology practice with one doctor to 5 or 10 doctors, and they need to be kept safe with their IT from malware, from viruses, from ransomware attacks, and all that stuff. They need to have an expert IT cybersecurity specialist who understands the dermatology space. And then you can
That is
effectively
true.
market to those people.
I just had a light bulb idea when you were saying that to me just now.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're
I'm gonna figure out half of my strategy for our challenge right
all
now.
right.
Thank
Write it
you.
down. Don't forget. Write it.
I'm halfway there.
Well, that's the challenge is that we all have the best of intentions, right? We always think, I just thought of the most amazing thing. And wow, I can't wait to get to work on that. And then 2 hours later, you're like, oh yeah, what was that idea?
It's so true.
Right? It's so true. And so it's like, for me, if something comes up, I'm writing it down somewhere. I'm in my early 50s and my memory is not what it once was. I still think I had a much better memory before catching COVID for the first time. And after that,
Ooh.
I don't remember stuff as well. My wife's like, we did just talk about this yesterday. I'm like, I completely don't even remember that conversation. And, that's,
I feel
that's
that.
important. So for me, I write stuff down. gotta be, gotta be
Yes.
careful.
I love how you said that because as I was on I'm on my fitness journey and changing the way I eat and my food and diet, I have less brain fog. I can remember things.
That's great.
But those things I don't remember, I have this little AI thing called Plod. I don't know if you heard of
Yeah,
that.
I've heard of it.
It's like a little device. It's a recorder, and it gives you all these AI notes and it writes everything down for you. So, because sometimes I like to write things,
Yeah. Well, for me, many times when I'm having a consultation with a potential client, I'll just jot the notes down as I'm going or record it with whichever tool,
Yeah.
Zoom or whatever. And what's neat is as a tool, you can plunk that into your chat GPT or whichever AI tool you like and say, here's my meeting notes with myself and Justin Walker. Please organize this. Give me the bullet points, the action items, whatever. And within 10
Yes.
seconds, there's your notes. And you take that and store that wherever you need to be able to reference them. So it's
I know. It's so
great.
powerful. I use it all the time. I honestly don't know how I got by when we didn't have this. Now that I think about it, I didn't. I think I suffered through everything, pretending I was writing things down. Like I'll remember it, not remembering it.
Yeah. It's really
Unfortunately.
amazing where we are right now in technology
Yes.
because AI is truly a revolution, similar to when the internet finally came out of just college campuses, but started being available to businesses and then the general public. Remember when iPhone 1 came out and people are like, this is kind of
How's
cool,
that?
but you can talk to what the internet becoming available, smartphones, e-commerce, and now AI. I mean, those are like the big milestones in the internet, right? And
Yep.
just the fact that literally I can sit down at my computer and within moments, a minute or two, I can ask it, in your example, training it on who you are, what your business offers, and I need help with choosing a niche that's going to be a perfect fit for me and provide enough income that I can have a successful, healthy, growing business, providing enough value to my clients that they're happy to continually pay and have great outcomes. And literally within 2 or 3 minutes, I said 20 before, a couple of minutes, and you can have that stuff done for you. And you read it and you're like, you know what? This is good. And then here's a trick with AI. This is really good, but I think you can do better. How would you recommend we make this even better?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he goes, well, we could do A, B, C, D, E, or F. And I said, love it. Implement that. Zip, rewrites it, and we're good to go for the much better version.
I use that all the time. It's amazing, like how people don't see this as a great tool to have and to use, but not a replacement as a human. For example, like you have your AI you created and you have your book and you said that people can go do it themselves, but sometimes people don't have the time or skill to do it. So you work with them. You still need a human being in that process.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the issues with certain AI tools. Now, granted, everything is moving crazy fast. So at the moment, MADDY, my AI digital marketing assistant, can create all the content for your website, but based on a limitation of ChatGPT, the system, it will not give us an export zip file that we can then put into, let's say, WordPress, and then unzip it and opens it up, and there's the website.
So yeah, copy and paste.
Yeah. So here's the deal is we would have to have a person copy and paste the blocks of text into WordPress, right? Now, granted, there are different AI tools for building websites from scratch. Okay. I've tried a few of them so far. There's room for improvement. Let's just put it that way. By the time people are listening to this recording, there may be some way better options that I haven't tried yet. The fact is that there's always going to be the need for some human involvement as the thought leader, and think of your AI as the thought partner.
Ooh, I like that.
There's a great book I'm reading right now called The AI Driven Leader. It's available on Amazon for $20 or whatever. Great book. And it helps people understand what the human component of AI is and how to best use it to succeed and grow a business. Understanding that, yes, there are some positions that are going to be done away with. Some are the horse and buggy, right? We don't have buggies. We don't have horses. We don't need the buggy whips, right? But you're still going to need some humans' involvement in some areas of your business for the foreseeable future, even with the amazing growth of AI. Now, some areas that I'm a little concerned about, to be truly honest and frank here, copywriting, editing, graphic design, data analysis, there's a whole lot of areas where humans aren't going to need to do this anymore because it takes too long. There's too many room for errors. It costs too much. For example, some businesses need to analyze a ton of data and try to find the trends, right? But with AI, you can literally upload several 100-page PDF documents and say, here's the data. I need you to analyze it for these following 5 things. And there's your analysis.
Law firms are already using it for that. They're working on it. I forget the AI they're using, but they have that to go through all their...
Which company did you say?
I don't remember the name of the AI, but law firms are using that to go through the thousands of documents and pull out the things they need, like that.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
and one of the newer things that's happening is that out of a concern for a business uploading their financial documents or other documents that are proprietary, you don't want to put that stuff anywhere out on the internet, right? So what they're having IT companies do, and this may be a space for you and your specialty, but you can create your own server inside of your practice, and you can upload your own content to that with all the legal cases and whatever information lawyers need. And that tool, that computer and server, is only accessible by a terminal that's in that office. So it's literally not connected to the internet. It's not connected to the network of that business. It's literally, it's just there. And so that way you can sit down and grab what you need. And then obviously, if you want an output, you put it onto a little USB jump drive onto that computer, right? So anyways, lots of opportunities, but man, when it comes down,
it's a great world we're living in. We have to take
exciting time and place.
Yeah, we have to make sure we take advantage of these tools, especially since you're in marketing. You learning to use those, teaching your clients how to use them, and understanding that they're not going to necessarily replace you, but you work with them side by side. It's good things to know.
Sure.
So, I mean, I use them every day in my business, and they're profound. I'm still learning to use them. Like I have this challenge with you right now. It's something that I have to kind of iron out a little bit.
You're always going to keep learning. When it comes to this tech, you're always going to keep learning. Just be open to it. And if you don't know what you're doing, for your listeners, like, I don't even know where to start. Go to YouTube, type in, I'm new to ChatGPT. How do I start? Or even better yet, go to ChatGPT, get into start an account either for free or pay the $20 per month and say, hey, I'm new here. This is my name. This is what I do for a living. What can you do and how can you help me? See what it says.
Just start. It's like people like afraid to, or they don't understand how to use it. It's just like you go to Google and you type something in, except for this is a little more enhanced than Google. You're getting someone talking back to you and you're going back and forth with information.
Stuff.
I want to thank you so much, Steven, for coming on here today. It's been a real pleasure talking with you and diving into this stuff.
Really good. I appreciate the time, the opportunity to share my story with your listeners and hopefully add some
Yeah.
value, whether it's on digital marketing or niching down or using AI or whatever it might be. Encourage your listeners to go to
Yes.
Amazon and look for my book, Just Ask Maddie. And I think it's for sale for like $15. So it's very reasonable. Even if you're not in that space, get the book. I bet you'll find it useful.
Yes. Before we go, are there any last things you'd like to leave our audience with and how they can reach out to you as well and work with
Sure.
you?
I appreciate that. Again, my name's Steven Schwartz. My company is Concierge Medical Marketing. The website is conciergemd.marketing. I'm very active on LinkedIn and Facebook, and feel free to reach out to me. My office number is also 772-304-2420. And that rings right to my iPhone. So happy to chat. If you want to have a meeting with me for even just a 15-minute, let's get acquainted and see how I can maybe help you or consult your practice with what we do. Or maybe you just want to hire me as a consultant for some AI stuff. I'm happy to do that. The place to schedule with me is cmmkg.com/schedule, and just put in whatever time works for you and your email and name and stuff, and it'll add it to my calendar.
Hell yeah, brother. And we'll put that down in the show notes for everybody to make it a lot easier for them. And before we go here, one last question. What does it mean to you to be a human being?
It's such a profound question. And the best way I can answer this is to make a distinction. There are human beings and there are human doings. There are human beings and there are human doings. Far too often, we are human doings. We have to get up, we have to eat, we have to get dressed, we have to get to work, we have to get this work done, we have to take care of the kids, we got to do this. And then before you know it, you collapse and you go to sleep and you wake up and do it all again, right? That's a human doing. And so I encourage people, well, let me just say for myself and my wife, we try to be human beings where we can focus on relationships. We can focus on each other. We can focus on our parents, our kids, our other relatives, our neighbors, to reach out and to be there for other people where they need help, to serve others. As a Christian, my identity is Christ in me, and I need to live in that and walk in that every day. And when this awful thing called sin tries to creep into my brain or in front of my eyeballs or whatever it is, it's like, look, to truly be a human being, I am a human with Christ living in me, right? So through that, I need to stay focused on that and understand that we are so much more than the things we do.
Ooh, that is so well said. I like that last part. We are more than things we do. I always try and drive that home to people. You know, it's like pretty much thinking not outside the box, not inside the box, but thinking without the box. So well said. Well, thank you again, Steven, for coming on here. It was a pleasure having you. Hope we can have you back again
I'd love
soon.
it. Thanks so much. And I look forward to hearing from you by Wednesday with your niche.
I will definitely be doing that. Thank you. All right, bye, Steven.
Thanks, everybody.